Hey everyone, and welcome to Ancient Treasures. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of history, but not in the way you might expect. We're not just talking about the big names, the ones who made it into every textbook. We're talking about the almost wheres, the could-have-beens, the figures who almost changed the course of history. Think about it. History is this long, messy, interconnected chain of events. And sometimes all it takes is one little change, one different decision, one person surviving a little longer, and the entire chain reacts, creating a totally different picture. These are the stories of those people, the ones who were to changing everything, but for one reason or another, didn't quite get there. Get ready because things are about to get interesting. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? It's this idea that even the smallest action, like a butterfly flapping its wings, can have huge, unpredictable consequences on the other side of the world. Well, history is kind of like that. Every invention, every battle, every life lived. It all sends ripples through time, impacting everything that comes after. And sometimes, you get these individuals who are like superpowered butterflies. Their lives and choices have the potential to create massive historical hurricanes. But for some reason, the winds die down, or they change direction at the last minute. These are the stories we're going to explore today, the ones that make you wonder what if? What if this person had lived longer? What if that invention had been embraced? It's a journey into the land of almosts and could-have-beens, and it all starts right now. Okay, let's start with a name you probably have heard of, Nikola Tesla. This guy was a straight-up genius, a visionary inventor who basically dreamt up the future of electricity. I mean, we're talking alternating current, AC, the kind of electricity that powers our homes today. We're talking wireless energy transmission. Imagine a world where you don't need cords for anything. Tesla was all about making energy free and accessible to everyone. He even envisioned a world with free wireless power, which, let's be honest, sounds amazing. But here's the thing. Tesla was way ahead of his time. His ideas were so radical, so mind-blowingly different, that they scared people. Investors got cold feet. His rivals, cough, cough, Thomas Edison, sabotaged him, and a lot of his most ambitious projects never really got off the ground. So what if they had? What if Tesla's dream of a world powered by clean, wireless energy had become a reality? Would we be facing the same energy crisis today? Would the 20th century have unfolded differently? It's impossible to know for sure, but one thing's for certain. Nikola Tesla was a true visionary, a man who almost single-handedly changed the world. Next up, we're traveling back to 1914, to the eve of World War I. The world is a powder keg, tensions are running high, and all it takes is a single spark to ignite the whole thing. And that spark, unfortunately, came in the form of an assassination. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is visiting Sarajevo with his wife, Sophie. It's supposed to be a routine visit, but a group of Serbian nationalists, the Black Hand, has other plans. As the Archduke's motorcade makes its way through the city, a bomb is thrown, but it misses its target, slightly injuring some bystanders. The Archduke, shaken but unharmed, decides to continue with his visit. But fate, as they say, had other plans. Later that day, on the way to visit the injured in the hospital, the Archduke's driver makes a wrong turn and stalls the car, right in front of one of the assassins, Gavrilo Princip. Princip seizes the opportunity, firing 2 shots into the car, killing both the Archduke and his wife. This act of violence triggers a chain reaction, leading Austria-Hungary to declare war on Serbia, and setting off a domino effect that plunges Europe, and eventually the world, into the deadliest conflict the world had ever seen. But here's the question. What if that driver hadn't made that wrong turn? What if Franz Ferdinand had survived that fateful day in Sarajevo? Would World War I have still happened? It's a question that historians still debate to this day. Some believe war was inevitable regardless of the assassination, but others argue that Franz Ferdinand, who was known to be more moderate than other leaders at the time, might have been able to prevent the conflict from escalating. We'll never know for sure, but it's a chilling reminder of how even the smallest events can have world-altering consequences. Now let's journey back to ancient Alexandria, Egypt, to the 4th century AD. It was a time of great intellectual ferment, and at the heart of it all was a woman named Hypatia. Hypatia wasn't just any woman. She was a renowned mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher. basically a rock star of the ancient world. She headed the Neoplatonic school in Alexandria, where she taught Plato's philosophy and conducted groundbreaking research in mathematics and astronomy. Imagine being her student. You'd be learning about conic sections, celestial mechanics, and the mysteries of the universe from a woman who was literally rewriting the rules of science. But Hypatia's brilliance wasn't appreciated by everyone. As a pagan woman in an increasingly Christian world, she faced growing hostility and suspicion. Tragically, her life was cut short when she was brutally murdered by a mob of Christian fanatics. With her death, a vast repository of knowledge was lost. Her own writings, which were said to be numerous and groundbreaking, were destroyed. What if Hypatia had lived longer? What if her work had been preserved? Some scholars believe that her research, particularly in astronomy, was centuries ahead of its time. Could she have revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos even earlier? Hypatia's story is a tragic reminder of how prejudice and intolerance can stifle knowledge and progress. It's a story that makes us wonder what the world would be like if we had listened to her voice and learned from her wisdom. Let's talk about ambition. Specifically, the ambition of Alexander the Great, the Macedonian king, who in just a few short years conquered most of the known world. By the age of 30, this guy had built an empire that stretched from Greece all the way to India. He was a military genius, a charismatic leader, and, some might argue, a bit of a megalomaniac. But here's the thing about Alexander. He wasn't just interested in conquering land. He had this vision of creating a single unified world, a cosmopolitan empire where Greek culture and Eastern traditions could flourish side by side. He founded cities, encouraged intermarriage between his soldiers and local women, and even adopted Persian customs himself. He was basically the OG globalist, centuries before it was trendy. But Alexander's dream of a united world died with him at the young age of 32. His vast empire was divided amongst his generals, who spent the next few centuries fighting over the scraps. What if Alexander had lived longer? What if he had had the time to solidify his empire, to fully realize his vision of a unified world? Would the world have been a more peaceful, more tolerant place? Or would it have been a world ruled by an iron-fisted emperor? It's a question that continues to fascinate historians and what-if enthusiasts alike. Alexander's legacy is a complex one, a mix of ambition, brilliance, and ruthless ambition. But there's no denying that he was a man who almost changed the course of history. Our final story takes us to ancient Egypt, to the reign of Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Cleopatra was brilliant, cunning, and a shrewd political operator. She was fluent in multiple languages, a skilled diplomat, and knew how to use her charm and intelligence to her advantage. She knew that the Roman Republic was a growing threat, but instead of fighting them head-on, she decided to outmaneuver them. She formed alliances with powerful Roman generals, most famously Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony, using their influence to protect Egypt's interests. Cleopatra wasn't just a pawn in their game, though. She was a powerful ruler in her own right, and she had a vision for Egypt's future, a future where her kingdom would remain independent and influential. But as we know, things didn't go according to plan. After Caesar's assassination and the defeat of Mark Antony at the Battle of Actium, Cleopatra's luck ran out. Rather than be paraded as a trophy in Rome, she took her own life, and Egypt fell under Roman rule. What if Cleopatra had triumphed? What if she had been able to secure Egypt's independence? Some historians argue that her victory could have significantly altered the balance of power in the Roman world. Could Cleopatra have been the one to outmaneuver Rome, to preserve Egypt's independence, and maybe even shape the destiny of the Roman Empire itself? It's a tantalizing thought, and it's yet another reminder that history is full of almosts and could-have-beens. So, there you have it. A glimpse into the lives of just a few of the many figures who almost changed the course of history. It's mind-blowing to think about, isn't it? How one decision, one invention, one life lived or lost can have such a profound impact on the world. It's a reminder that history isn't some fixed, predetermined path. It's a tapestry woven from countless threads, each one representing a choice, a chance encounter, a life lived. And who knows, maybe somewhere out there in another timeline, things played out differently. Maybe Tesla's wireless world is a reality. Maybe Hypatia's discoveries are taught in schools. Maybe Alexander's dream of a united world came true. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating historical content. Let us know in the comments which historical figure you think had the most potential to change history.